Hey guys, today we are going to talk about the difference between experiments and observational studies. So first of all, let's talk real quick about the difference between a population and a sample. A population is the entire group of people or objects. So we might say an example of a population would be like the population of Georgia. The whole state is Georgia. Okay, an example of a sample would be to take part of that population and just look at just that little piece of it. So you might say residents of Gainesville. Okay, so a population is a whole group. A sample is just part of a small subgroup. Two of the things we're going to talk about today are observational studies and experiments. Observational studies are just what you would think, right? You're observing something or asking questions. So it's when you're watching or asking questions about a particular group of people or from a particular group of people. A type of observational study is called a sample survey. That is when you literally give a survey to a sample of people. Okay, so we're going to talk later about bias, but you want to take a sample survey to represent your entire population. Okay, so for example, if we were going to ask our residents of Gainesville some questions, they wouldn't necessarily be a great representation of all of the state of Georgia because there's so many different regions in Georgia. An experiment is when the person gathering data changes a variable or imposes a treatment. Okay, they make changes. So this is just gathering info. This is making changes of some sort. Okay, so let's look at some examples. A study took a random sample of adults and asked them about their bedtime habits. The data showed that people who drank a cup of tea before bedtime were more likely to go to sleep earlier than those that didn't drink tea. All right, so basically we're just asking people stuff. So this would be an example of a sample survey. Or actually, let's just call that, we're not going to get that in depth. We're going to call that an observational study. We'll call that observation. Another study took a group of adults and randomly divided them into two groups. One group was told to drink tea every night for a week, while the other group was told not to drink tea. Researchers then compared which group fell asleep. Okay, so when you're telling people to do something or having them do something for the sake of your study, you are conducting an experiment. A study randomly assigned volunteers into one or two groups. One group was directed to use social media as they usually do. One group was blocked from social media sites. So we're directing and we're blocking. So we are putting some sort of treatment into place. So this is also an experiment. And then finally, another study took a random sample of people and examined their social media habits. Each person was classified as either a light, moderate, or heavy social media user. The researchers looked at which groups tend to be happier. All right, so this time we're just taking a study. We're just gathering data. Even though we're putting people into groups, we are not changing their behavior in any way. We're just classifying them. So that would be an observation. So those are some examples. You'll have some practice to do. But if you have any questions, just let me know.